Okay, so this is the WC lathe werks titanium shift knob. I got just the normal sphere, no grooves or anything. And then this is the reverse lockout. So that way you guys can kind of see, like, a lot of it's just covered up by this piece. So I want to order this in titanium. But I mean, then that whole thing will, is covered by the boot cover. So but you can see how far down the boot is now that I've got the Cartboy short shifter in here. And I paid extra for the laser etched STI with the 6-speed and reverse on it. The color change is really good on this. The only thing I don't like is that he uses, oh, come on. There it goes. He uses a brass insert for the frickin' thread, which actually adds quite a bit of weight to this, believe it or not. And then there's a set screw down in there, and that's how you get this lined up perfectly. So but see, now I took it off and it's not lined up. That's what sucks. That set screw. Every time you take it off, you got to readjust it. Because it took me like 15 minutes last night to get that dead nuts on. And now it's offset because I took it off. But theoretically, once you put it on, you should never have to take it off. Yeah, I like it. I just don't like how heavy it is. Maybe without that brass insert, it would be the weight I was expecting, maybe. I'll have to throw it on the scale, show you guys what it weighs. I think somebody's already weighed it, and it weighs like 500 grams. But don't quote me on that. I'll weigh this one and let you guys know 100% of what that knob weighs. The reverse lockout, I'm not going to pull that back off to reweigh it. So, and then Friday, that old turd of a car seat is going to be gone, and I'm going to post a video of what's going in its place. My son is getting a 5-point harness, and that's all I will say. But it'll be black and red too, by the way. So please don't mind the clown car. This fake carbon fiber shit was already in my car when I bought it, and I just decided that my money's best spent elsewhere, and eventually I will take care of that and change it out. But for the time being, I'm just going to live with it. I've lived with it for 2 years now, but it's really makes me sick looking at it. It literally looks like a clown puked in my car, so that all will get changed out for... I've been trying to find real carbon fiber, but everybody just makes a carbon fiber sticker or whatever, and it's really aggravating I can't find the real shit. So I'm going to have to make molds and make my own carbon fiber, I guess. I don't know. Which I wasn't wanting to do. But regardless, this, I paid $500 to replace that piece of shit right there. So, and it's going to have a fancy name on it. But shift knob, back to that. I like it. I like the way it feels in my hand. I've got these stupid hands that, like, they're alien fingers. Like, they're so long. I literally broke my very first girlfriend's cherry by using these 2 fingers. It ruined it. But anyways, that's how long those fingers are. And the way, like a lot of the shift knobs I have, I'm holding on to them like this. But this one, like see that? Like, it's not terribly big, but it feels better in my hand. Like the other shift knob I had was like maybe 2/3 the size of this one. So like my hand would cramp holding on to it. It just, I don't know, for me and my big ass fingers, it feels so much better. And then I've got this little Cooper tire thing that, because everybody complains about metal shift knobs in the summer getting hot, so I can put this little sleeve over it and keep it from getting too hot. That didn't come from WC Lathe. It came from an open wheel indie race that I went to where Cooper Tires hooked it up. And actually, that right here is one of the race tires that came off one of the open wheel Indy cars that I packed 4.5 miles back to the car. And trust me, that thing's not as light as you would think it'd be. It's like packing a normal frickin' tire with a kid. Kid in one arm, tire in the other, along with all of our frickin' chairs and everything else. Life sucked that day. And there it still sits. So, eventually one day I'll make something out of that. I don't know. WC Lathe, awesome shit. I want more. It's expensive. It's titanium. Everything titanium's expensive. That's why I'm making my own upper coolant hoses, because I thought $300 was insane from RK Titanium. Don't get me wrong, their stuff is awesome. I'm gonna have more pies than they do. They have like 5 pies per bend. I'm gonna have 10 pies per bend, which technically I'd rather have 5 pies than 10. I think the 10 is kind of just overdoing the pie radius and everything. But after this weekend, I'll show you the surprise that's going in that seat, or replacing that seat. And then hopefully I'll have that fabbed up, at least tack welded together. I'm going to burn it, color change it, whatever you want to call it. And then I'm going to weld it up, and we'll see how it comes out. I plan on making 2 of them. One of them is going to be for my car, obviously, because I've spent all this money doing it. I've probably spent over $1,000 just to fab up the first one. And so everyone after that should set me back. Like if somebody wanted one, about $180, depending on how many pie cuts you want. If you wanted the 10 pie, or if I needed to hand cut the pies and make 5 pie cut ones, or I can do it in 2 pie cuts. I just didn't like it. It looked too notchy and not as much of a radius as I want. So the coolant will actually flow better through my titanium tubing because it's more of a radius and it's more rounded and not such a sharp bend as the silicone coolant hoses and stuff like that. So it should theoretically flow better through the radiator and everything. So the next hose I want to try and tackle is that lower coolant hose, but that's a pretty hard one to tackle. Nobody sees it, and I need to get the Killer Bee thermostat housing for that, so then I can build off of that, because it causes the hose to be shorter. So there's a few things I got to get in place before I can do that, and I want to get this all done, fabbed up, so I can replace both the hoses and the housing and the cylinder 4 DOM cooling mod, which I still have not got. Dom has sent that fucking thing to me like 3 times. Every time it has gotten stolen before it has even reached my house. It's never even been delivered. Not once on any of the tracking. None of it has ever been fucking delivered. He's completely out of them. Dom got injured, went in for surgery, and now he's not making anymore, and I'm fucking pissed. Dom, it's not your fault. I totally understand that, dude. People get hurt. It's a fucking shitty world. And I swear to God, I find out who's fucking stealing these things at USPS. And I'm going to hunt you down. And I'm going to go fucking postal. And your fucking grandchildren are going to feel it. Just so me and you are clear. I will find you eventually. It may not be today. It may not be tomorrow. Maybe 30 fucking years from now, and you'll have no fucking clue on why this crazy dude is eating your eyeballs for fucking dinner. But I'll find you, and I will get to you. But totally recommend WC Lathe. The guy's awesome, pretty upfront and honest about everything. So it just, like I said in the last video, it kind of sucked on the delay or wait time for it and everything. But, you know, it is what it is. I mean, he does make them, but he hand makes them. So it doesn't matter. He can make 1,000 of the same one back to back, and they're all going to be a little bit different, right? So it is kind of one-off. And I'm glad to say I've got one of your products in my car. I've actually got 2 of them. And I hope to keep working with you and keep making future parts for my car and stuff. And so you're an awesome dude, buddy. Thank you for the hookup. And by no means did I get this stuff for free. I did pay over $300. So, yeah.